Welcome back to Stories from the Dirt, where, again, in the spirit of progress over perfection, I filmed this episode with no formal introduction and a mic that wasn't set up quite right. That does not take away from the great conversation we had today with Andrea Bullard. She is the I just want to make sure I get this right, the competitor liaison for the Rebel Rally, and she has been with the rally from its inception, pretty much. So be sure to follow along, listen to her stories. She has some great stories and some great inspiration. And also be sure to check the description for some links. She's talks about her business, Off Road Like a Girl, and where she'll be popping up in the next week or so. All right, thanks. Here we go. Okay, so today we have Andrea Bullard. You are the, hold on, I made notes so I would say it right, competitor liaison for the Rebel Rally, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. I don't know, tell us a little bit about yourself and then we'll dig into how that came about.
Oh, okay. Well, I live in Encinitas, California on the coast. My family and I also have a place out in the desert out here. When I was 15 years old, I got a job at the local diner here. This is the town I grew up in. And I worked there for 15 years. It was my first job, and I'd never let it go. I hung on to it until I was about 30, and COVID happened and kind of walked away from restaurant stuff. But anyway, I worked there for a long time, and I had known Emily as a customer basically since I was a kid. And at that point, you really don't know much about people. You know them by what they like to eat and what they want to drink and how many refills they want on their coffee. And that's kind of your profile. But I was up at the counter one day, and I had been doing just like these local short course races for a couple of years, and I was showing somebody else a video of one of the races that I had just done, and she, I think, kind of caught eye of it. No, that's cool. I didn't know you were into off-road, and I had no idea who she was. And, you know, of course, after meeting her and everything, I'm like on the internet, like, whoa, like this lady's awesome. Like I would have never known had we never had that conversation. But yeah, she invited me for a cup of coffee and gave me like the very tip of the iceberg about what the rally was going to be. And I mean, you could barely scratch the surface, as the two of you know, in a 20-minute conversation over coffee. But yeah, I mean, it grabbed my interest instantly. I had graduated college with a degree in communication and women's studies, and off-road had been my passion forever. And so just the combination of the opportunity to kind of use that communications degree and being the point of contact for all of these amazing people that are going to be a part of this event, and then it being geared toward women and being in the industry of off-road, it was like the stars just like. And so my answer was yes in about 30 seconds. I didn't even really know what the job was going to be like, but the answer was yes. I didn't even ask many questions. It was pretty quick. So yeah, it's been 8 years thus far, and it's been incredible. I mean, you know what it's like to do it 1 year, 2 years, to, you know, and how much comes even just with 1 year on the rally, and people and experience and triumphs and failures and all of the above. So to have been able to do that for the last 8 years, and it will be 9 this year, coming up on a decade pretty soon, it's just been, I mean, there's not really words for it. It's been transformational for me, as I know it is for our competitors, when they get through it every year and make it happen. So yeah, good stuff.
Wait, so you've been with it since the beginning, like the first year, it sounds like.
Yeah, it was, I think, probably about like a year before Emily officially launched it was when we had sat down, and she told me about, you know, here's this thing I'm going to be doing, and trying to explain to me the concepts of, you know, she said, I remember her pointing out, saying, you know, it's navigation based. And she kind of points over here, and she says, you see that palm tree there? I'm all, yeah. So, well, which one am I pointing at? Well, one of them over there, but do you know exactly which palm tree I'm pointing at? And so she was really, and I'm like, wow, like, you're right. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I don't think about, anyway, that was kind of a segue, but I remember that moment and I was just like, when I went to the first navigation training that we ever did before the first year of the rally, and got a taste of that and actually took the course in its entirety with the competitors, I finally understood, like, oh, you need to know exactly which hump on the mountain that they're talking about, not maybe one of those over there. You need to be 100% positive you're staring at that same obstacle over there. So I forget what the question was, Avis. I'm sorry. I'm going to do that a lot. That's going to happen a lot.
Okay. Yeah, so Emily can be a little intense. I can only imagine when she says to you, hey, would you like to go have coffee with me? You're like, I don't know. Do I?
No, I mean, she had mentioned that she had been in Baja racing for a long time with Rod Hall. And I mean, I was, what, like 20, I don't know, how old am I? I was younger, much younger, but I knew those names, you know, I know these names, and I'm like, oh, like, whoa, I mean, this lady's big time. And I remember actually after she invited me to coffee, and I said yes, because I mean, she's into off-road, and I could tell that she was so passionate about just what she was doing and what she planned to do. And like, I feel like you can feel that passion off of somebody. And so I picked up on that immediately and was like, I need to hear whatever it is you're going to tell me about. I need to hear about what it's going to be, because I have a feeling it's going to be pretty epic. And so, yeah, I mean, I knew right away I wanted to do that, but I remember Googling her name, because I don't know if we even had like introduced to each other at that point. We'd known each other for 10 years or more just from the restaurant. But I remember Googling her name and then being like, whoa, and like scrolling through the internet, like, yeah, this woman is like, she's big time. So that was really cool. Even just so at that point to be invited to coffee by somebody like Emily was really cool.
That is super cool. So you are, I heard you mention, first point of contact for any competitor coming into the Rebel Rally. Is that true?
Yes, correct. Yeah. So we'll get emails in a lot of time. Just, hey, this looks cool. Can you send me more info? I grab those and essentially have built a kind of, I mean, checklist, and it seems short and simple. The two of you know, prep for the rally is not short and simple at all. In preparation, in training and fundraising, you know, it's a lot of hard work. But I do have a really solid kind of like, hey, here's what you want to do. Like, essentially, the 4 main things you want to focus on. Work those out, and then here's kind of like a general idea of like the steps you want to take, kind of the stuff you want to have completely dialed in by the time you get to tech inspection. But like, hey, let's start here. Let's start with understanding the event first, because that's the biggest part. It's easy to see Instagram posts and social media stuff and look at that and say, I need to do that, I want to do that, and want to jump on it without fully understanding the concept of like what you are embarking on. And so that's always like my first thing that I send back. Hey, nice to meet you. I'll introduce myself and stuff. And it's always fun making connections with people. I mean, and anybody that's interested in the rally or just anybody in general and off-road, it's always really fun for me to just get to know them and kind of just have those new connections in life. But yeah, it's essentially a list of things that they want to pay attention to and take care of, and the most important parts of it. And number 1 is read the rule book, go online, go through the FAQs. That's always like my first thing. That it's like I almost like want to make it a requirement before any other steps are taken. Like, read through all this and make sure that this is what you're after, because it's a big undertaking for sure.
Yeah. I like to say it's a game with the most complicated set of rules you've ever tried to play.
That's a good description.
Yeah, and it takes in all of your life skills. So you have all of these rules plus all of your life skills just balled up together in this weird ball of yarn and just thrown at you.
And you figure it out day to day, minute to minute, second to second as you go along, right? But yeah, I mean, I think just the general understanding of the rules, and I mean, rule books are written in a way so that there is no it's black and white, right? I mean, we try to leave have like zero gray area. And where there is gray area, there's Chris, there's Emily, there's Christy, there's, you can ask questions and clarify stuff. But yeah, I feel like rulebook and FAQs that's always my number one. Yeah. And then once you get that down, then you've got all the other stuff you were just talking about, Ava. So now you got to mix that in with like this and this and this and this and try to figure out how it all fits together and make it work and push forward.
Yeah, the FAQs are a great place to start. I think that's where I started. I think I read there, chatted with Avis, and then went back. She was like, read the rule book. And like every month she's like, have you read it? I was like, I'm reading it again. And every single time it's like I would have read through the entire rule book and then learned something that I was like, how did I miss this last time? Like every time I read it, I learned something that I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like,
yeah, every single time I read it, I learn something new. And when it gets close, I will read it like 3 or 4 times a week with my morning coffee. And still, like, I had a conversation with Nick last week, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize that was in the rule book. Like, I don't know. It's like the Bible. Things just keep showing up.
It's you just keep finding more.
Like you haven't processed all of it every time it's like, oh, I've processed something new this time, even though I must have read it last time, clearly.
It's the gift that just keeps on giving.
Yeah. It's amazing.
That's like, I feel like I've talked to a lot of competitors about our online navigation training. So for anyone who's listening who is new to this, I'm sure you're going to be picking up on a lot of this stuff. Once you are officially registered for the rally, you receive access to a page on our website. It's essentially kind of a back-end place where you will have access to all of our promotional stuff, video clips that you can use for promotion, media stats, and then we have, most importantly, toolkits and online training that you can do. And so we really, really, I always emphasize those because they're what's the term, straight from the horse's mouth? I forget. But it's literally like coming from their tools given to you to prepare for the competition by the competition that you are going to compete in. So and those too, I've heard from a lot of competitors that have done the online navigation training, the same one 10, 20 times, and will come to the end and be like, wait a second, I just picked up on this last thing here on this page. Like I've done this same thing, like with the rule book 20 times. And how did I not notice, this number or this, I think I had this a little bit off, or, like it clicked this time, 20 times in. Now that makes sense. And now I know why we can bend the ruler when we're taking measurements. Like it shouldn't work, but it does work, So it's, same thing with those trainings. I feel like people just get more and more out of them the more that they use them. And the more that they apply them to situations, if they do those courses and then take those concepts and go apply them to like a state park area near them, and, grab a map from USGS and go practice on their own. And it just, there's always, you can never learn too much. Like there is always something you can improve on or learn more about. The two of you know that. It's a constant, you're constantly growing. There's no plateau. It's not, if there's a plateau, there's you need something a little more.
So true.
Yeah. Find somebody else to learn from. If you feel like you've stopped learning, go find somebody else, because there's never a shortage of stuff to learn.
Yeah. Yep. So true. There's always more out there.
So we have a little game we want to play with you, and we're going to call it Fast Money. No, we're not going to give you any money, but I'm going to set a 1-minute timer, and we're going to ask you 10 questions.
Oh boy. Okay. I get 1 minute for each question?
No. You get 1 minute for 10 questions. It's fast money.
Are you
ready?
All right, Avis.
I can talk forever. This is going to be really hard for me, but I will do my best. I'm focused.
Okay. Liz, you also have the questions. Do you want to ask the questions?
No, you start. I don't have them in front of me. I will next time.
Okay. All right, Andrea, we're going to start the timer. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's your favorite car you've ever owned?
My 2006 Toyota Tundra.
Favorite state you've ever visited?
Utah. Nevada. Nevada.
Okay. Desert or mountains?
Desert.
Oceans or lakes?
Oceans.
Ground tent or rooftop tent?
Ground tent.
Oh, how many pairs of Vans do you own?
Like 20.
Okay, you have an answer. That's good. That's good. All right, baseball caps, flat bill or rounded?
Flat bill.
Okay. Let's see, luxury camp food or will keep you alive at camp food?
Keep you alive.
Coffee?
Yes, always.
Okay. Last question, drive or navigate?
Drive.
Oh, 3 seconds left. You did so good.
Oh, did I? I made it. Okay. And Nevada.
You made it.
Nevada. I don't know why I spaced on Nevada, but Nevada is definitely.
No worries. All right.
I was like, Nevada's like a hidden gem. Like for a while,
like,
we hadn't visited it, and we just kind of like dip in areas. And then at some point, Brett and I finally like went through and started staying and finding hot springs. And I was like, this place is amazing. And like, there's just areas where I'm like, there's just nobody out here, and it's just stunning.
It's so, I feel like it's so underrated as far as like, you see, you're constantly seeing videos from like Utah and Colorado and like, and those places they're gorgeous. Driving, oh my gosh, this summer we drove from, I forget what road it is. Avis, you would probably know, but basically the road that takes you up from Utah, like St. George, and then up to kind of the corner top of Colorado. But that drive is beautiful. Nevada is it's so empty and it's so beautiful. And also I think it's really funny that how many Vans do you own is the only one that like came natural. I'm like,
I don't even know the answer to that for me.
I don't know. It's probably not the right answer, but it's probably around there. And I don't know if there was like an alternative choice when you said coffee. I think I just jumped the gun and said yes.
No, there's no other choice.
Okay.
We want to know, do you drink coffee or not?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I actually just got back from Cafe Moto. I was there this morning picking up a 5-pound bag of caffeine.
How long will that last you?
Like, actually, not too bad. Like, maybe a month. Like 3 weeks to a month.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's how many coffee drinkers in your house?
Actually, just me in my house. In our part of the house here. Just me. Yeah.
Just you.
So I don't know if that's a lot of coffee or not. I would have to do the math.
I don't ever want to do the math on how much coffee I drink. So we'll just avoid that.
I'm there. I'm good. That sounds good to me. That was really fun. I hope you do that with everybody.
Yeah, that's our goal. Although I might need to add a question because people are finishing in under a minute. I tested it on Rob and he finished in 51 seconds. So
I think you could probably squeeze in one more question. I think I had a couple like hesitant spots there. I've been doing a lot of nav stuff, not like you all do, which is like blows my mind. Just on Gaia and stuff out in the desert, waypoints and like trail hunting and route planning and stuff, just for us to go test the truck and go have fun. And I've had a lot of fun with that. I'll plot it and then I'll hand the phone to my older daughter. She's 10. I'll be like, just follow the points and tell me when the turns come up. And she loves it. And I'm like, okay, good. This is good.
That's
it. That's a great start for her too.
Yeah, she likes it a lot, but she also wants to drive. So I'm like, we can't do that yet. You're in charge of the Gaia until you can reach the pedals.
I was going to say, can she reach the pedals yet?
Not quite yet. She's tiny. She's pretty small for her age. So
yeah. I think my dad let me like pull myself up on the steering wheel and hold on the edge of the seat so that my feet could reach. I started driving pretty early.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no, I'll let him sit out on my lap and steer. But yeah, the older one's pretty good at that. The little one, I have to like keep it in like low gear, first gear, just like be prepared to hit the brakes at any given moment. But it's fun stuff.
Nice. So tell us a little bit more about yourself. What is Off-Road Like a Girl?
Off-Road Like a Girl is which I've never I don't know. I always say this. I don't know. I shouldn't say it probably. I'm trying to promote a business. I've never liked the name. I don't know why. I just didn't really know what else to pick. But essentially it was a company that I started for apparel, hats, just merchandise, any type of sellable merchandise geared towards women in motorsports and the automotive industry, just all the industries like that where women have traditionally been the minority, and started for the purpose of, I do like graphic design. I like doing stuff like that. I like sales. I like meeting people and doing booths, but started for the purpose of donations. So 25% of the profit from every single sale is donated to a different nonprofit women's organization. I don't do a lot of booths and stuff, and so it honestly runs pretty slow. I think if it was like a full-time thing, it would probably be a lot bigger than it is. But I'm happy with it the size that it is, to be honest. Like, it's good. I do like 2 or 3 booths a year. It's fun. I don't have to like constantly be stocking inventory. But yeah, it was just a way to get donations into these organizations that do so much for women and children. And I could go on and on about that. But, donations is not, people don't usually wake up and go, I feel like donating to the, American Women's Medical Association today. We just don't. We're busy in life. And so to give people the opportunity to say, hey, that's cute. Oh, and also, it's just a route for that to take place without kind of that intentional seeking out of donating money, if that makes sense. So it's been really good. It's been fun. There's 8 or 10 different organizations that I've donated money to via sales over the past few years. I started that actually this pretty much the same exact year that Emily, maybe a little bit before Emily and I had made the connection and started working together on the rally. So it's been going for a long time, and it's been a lot of fun. I've met a lot of really cool people, have done some fun events. Sarah Price set up an event at the Children's Hospital over here in Loma Linda a few years ago and invited me to come out for that. And that was really, really powerful experience and was really cool to go do with her, with the kids there. And yeah, it's done a lot of good stuff, and I've really enjoyed it a lot. And it's just for fun. But yeah, the serious side of it is that those donations help those organizations do what they do, and what they do is important. So
yeah, that's amazing. Like, I want to go get some hats and shirts now.
I don't know how much is. I have an event coming up actually here in San Diego. Rigs and Brews is kind of an overland style event, like outfitter gear. I'm sure there will be, shot companies and, everything from off-road gear to camping gear to other equipment, probably maybe other apparel companies. I don't know everybody off the top of my head, but a lot of really cool products. Like if somebody were just, and I'm there as a courtesy, Michelle, who runs it, lets me come and set up a booth. She's super cool. And I kind of fit in with the group. It's off-road, it's overland, it's same difference these days, right? So, but yeah, if somebody were wanting to deck out their truck or start doing some truck camping and stuff, you could get like everything you need at that event in one fell swoop. Just like go buy one of each from every booth and like be ready to go. So that'll be fun. Yeah. Yeah,
she puts on rad events. The Rigs and Brews is pretty cool.
Oh yeah. So you've seen it before? Yeah.
I met Michelle a couple years ago through a women's camping group. So,
oh, cool.
And stuff. But yeah, her events are awesome.
Yeah, she's rad. She works really hard on those, and I'm pumped to be there. It's cool. I always end up meeting new people and just making new connections, and yeah, and hopefully off-road nights this year too in Escondido. I'll have a booth over there in the summer. That's a really fun event. That's a big off-road event. Rat Salt puts that on, and all off-road vendors. So yeah, a couple things set up for this year. It's been pretty quiet the last few years. My dad's been not doing very well lately, which is what it is. But yeah, it's been pretty quiet with all of that stuff. So I'm excited to get back into it again.
Nice. I haven't made it to any of the events yet. We've only been here in Southern Utah about 3 years, and so Southern California still feels like another world away sometimes.
Anything is a world away when you have to drive through either Vegas or LA to get to it. It's lifetimes away.
Yes. Liz comes up sometimes and then she's like, I gotta get out. I gotta make it through Vegas before the traffic, or LA. I gotta go through both. Or
yeah. Oh yeah. Totally. When I leave for the rally every year, I leave here at like 3 a.m. because that way you're up 5 and past LA and on 14 to Mojave by like 6 a.m. No traffic.
Yeah, fortunately, we don't have to go through Vegas. We kind of go towards it and then cut north just before it.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
Mammoth again this year? Is that what the rumor is?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh.
I think I remember that being said in a Zoom call that we had as a group with Emily.
I missed that call, but
I think I vaguely remember her mentioning that, but there's nothing official yet. I mean, I don't even know, honestly. I mean, I'm not too sure. Until those competitor updates start getting put together and we start getting all that information consolidated, I'm focused on registration and training, and until the word comes official and I'm typing it into the update that I send to everybody, then it's no news to me. But I hope so. What did you guys think of Mammoth? Did you like it there?
I was saying I liked it. It was my first year, so I didn't have anything to compare it to for Tahoe.
Yeah, totally. Ava, what did you, Mammoth, Tahoe?
I liked Tahoe a little bit better just because it wasn't so bitingly cold.
Colder.
I've never been to Mammoth before, so I didn't expect it to be so cold. So I should have brought warmer clothing. So if it is in fact in Mammoth this year, I will find it more enjoyable because I will make sure I'm warmer.
For sure. Yeah, I've never thought about that difference necessarily, but yeah, Mammoth is like that combination of, Tahoe, you're in the mountains, like you're in the mountains. Mammoth is that combination of that like high desert cold. But then now you just went up like however many more 1,000 feet in altitude from the high desert. So you're not really in the mountains. You're kind of on a large rock in the middle of the high desert, which would make it, which makes it extra cold. So bring a warmer jacket just in case. I don't know.
Yeah. Because the welcome event was outside.
Yes.
And I was not prepared to be outside for that long, and I was just like stiff from shivering.
Oh no! Oh, that's awful. That's an icky feeling.
I mean, the onesie sleeping bag that you wear that a bunch of the girls had the silk bags they were running around in. I was like, we're at the welcome meeting. I'm like, that is brilliant. And then they wore them in the mornings for the rest of the rally when it was cold. I'm like, I'm getting one of those.
Oh my! Did you buy one?
No, not yet. But before October, I'll be buying one.
Did you, Avis? Do you have one of those silk bags?
I don't yet, but it's on my list before October. I'm sort of kind of biding my time to see if Mammoth is the official start again. So if it is, I'm definitely getting one.
I feel like base camp 1 is always, I mean, it could be anywhere, honestly, I don't know, but traditionally base camp 1 is always just really cold anyway. And so I had bought that onesie. I always wanted a silk bag because I saw Becky wearing one a couple of years ago, Becky Brophy with the Toyota team. And I'm like, where did you get that? And I think it was either her or another competitor that had some sort of like discount rate going there for a while. That would be worth asking about in the prepping group. But I vaguely remember that. But those things are cool. They're just, they're pricey, but I'm told they're worth it. The one that I had grabbed was Instagram got me with one of their ads. And I was like, that's a large, fluffy flannel one piece. I need it for the rally. And that thing is hot. It's like fleece inside. So it's not sleeping bag hot, but it's like fuzzy, fluffy hot. And it comes in handy till the sun comes up. And then you're like,
right.
So hot. Yeah, get me out. Yeah.
Yeah, yours is super cute. Being a short girl, I don't think I stand a chance of being super cute in mine.
No, I feel like they look cute. They look cute on everyone because they're comfy. Like whenever I see somebody who looks comfortable, like I don't really ever like notice like, and I should, not that I don't notice when people are dressed nice or look nice, I do. But when people look like, I'll go up to people, not, hey, I love that dress. Is it, whatever brand? I'll walk up to people and be like, where'd you get those sweatpants? I need a pair. like immediately. So whenever people like dress comfortable, I'm like, I feel like that's the best look because you can tell they're so comfy. Point being, I think you'd look really cute in a onesie, Avis.
Oh, thanks. I mean, your dresses that you wear to the gala, I mean, I've only been twice now, but each year I see you in your dress and I think to myself, where did she get that? Because you wear nice dresses, so.
Oh, thank you. You're so
Yeah.
kind. I don't, I think the one I wore last year, again, was like Instagram got me. They showed some goddess woman barefoot on a beach, and I was like, I'm going to be her. If I buy that dress, I too shall have free spirit. Yeah, I actually bought that for, gosh, what was it? I don't remember, but yeah, thank you. I love that dress. It's like one of the only dresses that I own, and so thank you. I appreciate it. I'm not big on like dresses, so when I do wear them, I feel like I need to find the right dress.
Well, isn't that the best thing about the gala? I mean, I think a lot of people in our position are like, I mean, I don't have a lot of dresses, but like, right. What are you wearing to the gala? Like, okay, we have this opportunity. Sure, we have to get ready in the desert, but like, we have this opportunity to wear this dress that, like, buy a dress and wear the dress because, here's your chance. I know Liz had she has a very specific idea for this year.
Oh, yeah. I just want something like sequins and sparkly, and like I didn't do that last year. I did like long. It was really cool, but this year, like I'm already like at TJ Maxx and random places, and I'm like, oh, there's glitter and sparkles. Like, So we'll see what happens.
the glitter in everyone that like, I feel like I'm quoting Mean Girls, but like on that final day, like everyone looks like a rock star here tonight, and it's true. I mean, it's, you get out of whatever you've been wearing for a week. And I don't care if you put on a dress suit or a sparkly sequin dress, they look like rock stars. And here they are just looking amazing out in these dunes, having these professional pictures taken. The sun is setting. It's just like, it's otherworldly. Like, where do you see that seriously anywhere else in the country, in the world? And just like 130 women like dressed up like rock stars in the middle of this largest set of sand dunes in the country, I believe, in square miles, correct? Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Sure. And then just the pictures that they take in the red carpet and like the whole bit. I mean, I'm like up there taking pictures of everyone as they're walking in on the red carpet just to come check in and get their wristband. I'm like, stop, freeze, you look awesome. And it's really fun. Yeah. No, it's really fun seeing everybody all dressed up at the end. And the smiles are just big because the accomplishment is so huge. Physically, internally, mentally, and to be able to put on that dress and be like, I rock, I'm sure feels amazing. I don't know what that's like, but I'm sure it's incredible. You could tell me.
Yeah. It's funny because even the rookies, like, we still have 7 months, and the rookie teams are already thinking like, what are we wearing to the gala? Like, I mean, to take on the Rebelle is so much, but also everybody is like focused also on the gala, right? Like, okay, this is going to be so much fun, but what are we wearing at the end? Like, it's just such an amazing opportunity that I think few people have to be like, okay, yeah, buy the dress or the outfit, as Emily says, that makes you feel like $1 million. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's that doesn't surprise me that it's on. It's not at the top of everybody's list, but it's on the list somewhere, and it should be, because you deserve to feel good and feel your best and look your best on those days, because it's well deserved by the time you get to that point. So
I think it's such an amazing way to end all of it too, where it's like, 'cause you just gone through so much during the week, and like you've crossed the finish line. And I mean, we all could have just gone home, but to have that last day of like celebration and like kind of processing what you've just been through, and still like kind of in it with everyone that you just did this incredible rally with and this experience. So I think it's truly amazing having the gala and that last day to kind of like, I don't know, just have everything come together.
Yeah, and you have no job to do.
And like, off we go.
Yeah. That last day and having like nothing, I'm sure having like nothing that you need to like, there's no task that needs to be completed. Like you are chilling. And like, I feel like you need that for a day out there. And especially just to enjoy everybody's company. I mean, you're together for a week, but how much time are you really getting to just hang out and get to know everybody? And I mean, you do, and at the beginning you do a little bit, I'm sure, and in between, but yeah, it's, that last day. And I mean, I feel so bad when people have to, and they have obligations and they have to take off like right after they cross the finish line, basically leave that Friday. I'm like, no, like you need this. Trust me, your soul is going to need it. You're going to get home and be like, my soul needed that, and then you're going to crash. Like you need
ready to re-enter like regular society, and you need that day. And yeah, being able, I remember like going in on Saturday morning and we're all sitting around having coffee at the tables and like getting to hear the stories throughout the week from friends where it was just like, oh, I had no idea like what you went through, and sharing what we went through. And it's like, you don't have that time when you're on the rally. You're just in it. Like every moment's just kind of like, you still check in with people, but it's like, you don't have that time to actually be like, oh, tell me about your week, like everything.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, the time, or like the energy, the mental energy to even explain. I'm sure you get home, you could have had like the craziest day in the world, like story you could tell. Nobody would even believe you if you told them. But you get to the finish line the finish line for the end of the day at base camp, middle of the rally, and like there's nothing up here for like processing and then sharing that story. There's just food and sleep. And that's it. Like that's all you have energy left for. So no, I'm sure that's neat. And I would love to like see a book or put together a book of just like clips, like, so, short clips, but like summary clips of like, just different stories. I know I could build my own, that's for sure. Of my own stories.
Liz did a really good, Liz was on a different team last year for me, but I observed Liz doing a really good job with the journal. Didn't you keep a journal last year, Liz?
Yeah, I did keep a journal. I kept a journal actually leading up to the rally, probably a couple months out. Like I just jot down stuff every day, and then left like a huge chunk for when we were in the rally. And so every night, if I had time, or like in the mornings, usually it was in the mornings, I'd like get up extra early and like sit with coffee and like end up kind of just jotting down stuff that had happened. Because I'm like, I know I'll forget a lot of like the things that we've been through, or the emotions or the feelings. Like it all kind of like changes once you're away from something for a while. So yeah, I did journal.
That's so cool. Do you go back and read that? Like, are there days, does it go from like excitement to like, I want to go home? To like,
yes, that's definitely written in there at least once. This is like, oh, today there were multiple moments where I said I wanted to go home. Why are we here? Wait, we paid to do this. And then there's the one where it's like, we literally could go home, but we're not. Where you're like, I could leave. I can go get in my car. We can leave. We don't have to be here. But like, we're not going to do
that. Exactly. I don't journal. I'm too tired at night. And as a navigator, I took a journal, but I can never figure out when to fit it in. So I'm glad that there's people like Liz who make the time and take the opportunity, because it does sound like a really precious memory for sure.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. That's a great idea. And I'm sure it's hard to like, it's one of those things you probably have to almost force yourself to do, because you are so tired and you're kind of just ready to like check out, but then to go back and kind of replay some of that so that you can get it onto paper and stuff. Well, Lizzie can journal for you in third person. Avis is currently sitting. She is giving me.
That's not what happened. I don't remember it happening that way.
Avis said, I want to go home 8 times today. Oh, yes. Verified.
I wrote down
we did say that a lot.
Each one, every time you said it. This was at 9:35. This one was at 9:37.
I go, Avis actually tried to navigate us toward the freeway today. It was 5 miles before we reached Highway 15 that I realized.
I immediately needed to turn us around.
Right?
Everyone got out of the car, but we all got back in.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure.
So leading up to my first rally, and I think Liz heard the same thing, some people will tell you the rally is going to change your life. It's life-changing experience. So it sounds like even for you, Andrea, just being involved and helping competitors get into it, it was a bit of a life-changing experience. What do you think about that?
I think that the past 8 years of, even just each year, but the past 8 years of doing my job and being a part of what we do has had the similar, I should say, because I don't know, but similar, excuse me. It's had the same or similar transformational effect on me, I think, as it does on our competitors in a different way. But the rally, working on the rally, meeting the people that I've met, facing the challenges that we face, even just as staff on the rally, the work year round that it goes into putting it together so that everybody can be there in October, all of it. It's made me a better, partner, a better mom, a better daughter. It's had that same transformational effect. When I was, like I said, when I was first meeting Emily and I was a kid. I've learned so much, and I feel like I've grown a lot. I still stand, push, and ride the shopping cart to the truck every time I leave the grocery store. So don't get me wrong, like I haven't grown up completely. But it's yeah, absolutely. Gosh, the connections. You've seen what it can do in 1 year as a competitor. And like I said, I don't know what that experience is specifically because I've never been in your shoes exactly. But I would say take that, look at it a little bit differently because you're on the other side of it. But as far as the hard work to get there, having to work together as a team, I worked base ops the first 4 or 5 years until my spinal cord injury thing. And then I couldn't lift anything anymore. So now I just come along and smile. It's my primary job now. I handle all the apparel now. I just focus on that. But working base ops, like the physical challenge, the working together, the rock, paper, scissors for who's waking up at 4 a.m. to turn on the Jenny when it's like 12 degrees out in the morning. Just the whole thing. The people, so many rad people. I adore every single person that I have met as a competitor, every single person that I have worked with on the rally. They've just made, I just smile talking about it because it really is like my favorite thing every single year, being able to get up there and be there with everybody and work hard and then watch the emotions and watch the transformation of competitors from, the day they email or call and say, hey, this looks kind of cool. Can you send me more info? To watching them cross the finish line, which if anybody's noticed, I'm usually a bawling mess at the finish line because I see it happening and I'm watching it from afar, not in it, with them, but I'm watching it from afar. And it's incredible. Just seeing the effect, the positive impact that it has on everyone and just being a part of that is, I'm beyond grateful is not the right word. Something like grateful times 1,000 to have had the opportunity to be a part of it for so long and be still doing it. And so excited for our 9th year. And it's crazy that it's almost been a decade and it's awesome. There's nothing else like it. So I hope that sums it up.
Definitely. I know anytime that I have to reach out to you, it's easy. You're approachable. Like you always answer my questions. You're knowledgeable. Like if you don't have the answer, you tell me where to go. And so, yeah, you're part of what makes it a great experience.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. It's fun. It's easy. It's easy to do. What's that saying? Love what you do and you'll never work a day in your life. I feel like the rally, I've said that to 1,000 people 1,000 times, but it really embodies that for me. Truly, there's not a day that, sometimes things are challenging, but it's all part of seeing it all come together in October every year, even if there's bumps and stuff along the way trying to get there, which there always are in anything, in any event planning. But it's my job's easy to do because of the people that I interact with to do my job. And I mean, our competitors they're incredible. They're from all different walks of life. They're from different parts of the world, different backgrounds, different home situations, different jobs. And the one thing that they have in common is the same passion. And that variety of people, it's so cool, and it makes my job really easy. I love what I do because of the people that I do it with and for. And yeah, so thank you. I'm glad I'm able to help.
I've been curious because it's like so what it's like for you on the other side of the rally, because I kind of hear like we're running the rally as competitors, but like you guys are running your own rally basically on the other side. So
that is so true. It's a different kind of rally. Gosh, there's about 1,000 stories I could tell to sum that up. Completely sum it up. Let's see. We had a team one year have to last minute their car at at the start line at tech inspection. One of the two basically malfunctioned and they couldn't take on the rally. And so a family member drove up a different car completely last minute to drop off to them in Tahoe to use to compete in. But it was X-Cross instead of 4x4. So now they have a new team member. And so I found myself, I was driving at I went down there I was trying to get there before they closed, down at the Hobby Lobby in Reno, buying and then custom cutting new numbers for all of their...
Oh my gosh.
It's like the start line's in 4 hours and I'm like, this isn't going to happen. It's not going to happen, guys. I stayed up super late and I cut all the new numbers and I was able to put all new decals on, got patches to patch over the same color of their vests, was able to find heat press stuff that I could do for their vest numbers on the back and on the front, just all new. I basically had to redo their everything they had going on. But yeah, so the last minute, what just happened on the phone with Chris, and oh, by the way, they're two whatever now. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. There's a Hobby Lobby in Reno. It'll take me 45 minutes, an hour to get there. It's completely doable. And so, yeah, just little stuff like that, but it's a mission. And it's I love stuff like that. Even ever since I was in high school, a friend would be like, oh, I found some whatever on Facebook Marketplace, but it's in Arizona. I'm like, what time are we leaving? Oh, you need to be there in 3 hours? Cool. I'll book a flight. Let's go. I've always loved that, last minute, okay, can I do it? Or it seems impossible. I guess that's right. That's the staff side of what you guys do. This seems impossible. It seems unattainable. Therefore, I need it. I want it. I'm going to make it happen. So I thrive off that.
There. You have your own finish line that you're okay, I can see it. This is how much time. All right, I can make it.
Yep. Yeah. It's that. Yeah. That fire drill. Just I thrive off of that for sure. I like to have everything. I've gotten to the point now. I feel 8 years in. This will be 9 years now, where most of everything is dialed in. I've got my system now. And then you kind of deal with bumps and stuff as they come. But the first year we started, we were evacuated out of our camp where we were staying the night before tech inspection in Tahoe. We woke up and walked down onto the shore of Lake Tahoe and look up to the side of the hill, and the mountain's just on fire. And next thing we know, this is our first year. We're already doing our best to create this picture that we've had in our heads for a couple years now leading up to it. And so we're already working really hard to make this happen. And then the mountain's just on fire. And then we get the fire truck coming down. You guys need to get out of here. Tech inspection location, unreachable. Emily's able to call around and finds a spot last minute to hold tech inspection, to hold welcome meeting, to hold rally school, the whole bit. Stuff like that. That's just us on the back end running into things like that. I feel you don't work on the rally unless that type of last minute fire drill situation is something that you can handle with a cool head, or and almost enjoy. I know that sounds weird, but like I feel like I almost work better under those circumstances. But I mean, it's the same thing that drew me to medicine and drew me to EMT and working on the ambulance and stuff. Like it's not that I like what's happening on the ambulance. None of that's okay. It's never good. It's somebody's worst day ever, every time, right? It sucks. But that, like, I feel like I work better. It's one of those, like, your body's on fire, your heart is racing, but your hand is steady, like completely steady. And so, yeah, the staff on the rally, they have steady hands in situations like that, which makes them they're great to work with. And yeah, there's been a lot of those. We had there's a lot of good staff stories for sure. I'm trying to think of some that I should tell. I have a few that I don't need to tell. Not bad, just like they don't need to be told. They're my stories.
I imagine the first couple of years were such a growth period for it too, because it was so new, and there was like like getting it off the ground and like trying different things and going, will this work? Like, so yeah, I imagine the stories for the first couple of years too are just like all over the place, where it's like,
Oh yeah, I think we probably, I mean, and our staff has gotten bigger over the years, so you'd have to ask other people too that have been on it for a few years now. But I would say in the first 3 years that we had the rally, specifically those first two, you're right, like 2016, 2017, there are probably more stories on the staff end in those 2 years than like cumulatively for the next year, just because of that reason. Yeah, lots of trial and error. The very first year, I may have done it in 2017 as well. I think I did. But definitely the first year I had one of our photographers that came out a number of years in a row, Tim Calver, and I just media drove for him at a 91 Toyota 4Runner, four-wheel drive, 22 RE. About as fast as a wagon full of rocks, but we made it. And that was a lot of fun. And he and I had a lot of like really fun stories. I remember him trying to take pictures out the window as we're like approaching this lake bed, and he's got like this perfect shot of this competitor coming in on the lake bed, and I'm kind of driving, up next to him, and they're driving there, and all of a sudden we just go into this massive silt bed. I mean, the silt is up over the hood, over the windshield. I'm like, I can't see you, but I can't slow down because we're gonna get stuck. So I just kept going, and he's like trying to hang on to his camera. Now there's just silt everywhere. I mean, stuff like that, little things like that. I'm sure you guys have heard the story about we had somebody on our base ops team that decided to take a shortcut one year. And we had a big box truck for operations. And this is a story that's been told many times, so I know I can tell it. And it's a good story. He had this huge box truck that we were driving, all the base op stuff in it. Now we've got like multiple trailers and tons of stuff. But at the time it was like small enough that we just had a box truck. And then I believe Busby was also in the lineup with them in his 18-wheeler. And then we had Drew in the food truck also in the lineup with them. And so the driver of the box truck takes a look at we started calling him Jack Sparrow after this, with a broken compass. That was his name. For the whole rest of the rally, where's Jack Sparrow? Decides to take some of this looks shorter road. Get into base camp, and just leads all three of those vehicles into a giant silt bed.
Oh no.
And I forget where it was, but Brian Busby, I mean, he's just like on the gas as hard as he can be. The box truck makes it, and he like gets through it, and he's like, whoa, and he's looking back there to see if everybody's okay. And here comes Busby in the 18-wheeler just charging through the silt. The silt is flying. He makes it through. And then Drew was on it. He was pushing on it so hard, and he worked so hard at it. And he got really, really, really far, like way farther than you would think anybody would get in a food truck. But eventually it sunk. I think it took like 3 hours and like 12 sets of max tracks to get that food truck out of the silt bed. And then we get it back to base camp, and it basically looks like Armageddon. I mean, the silt was in the fridge. I mean, like airtight sealed fridge. The silt was everywhere. It took us probably like 3 hours to clean. I think we served dinner at like 12 o'clock that night. I mean, it was, yeah. So those are a couple of staff has their own rally stories for you.
Takes a lot to put together, put it on.
Yeah. And then it was in fact, when you say food truck, like a food truck, not like a truck with the food supplies in
Oh,
it,
no,
but like
sorry,
a
yeah.
food truck.
Oh yeah, I forget that. So we have the setup is like so nice now. And I keep forgetting. No, it was literally like a like taco truck style truck. A big one though, a big one. It was probably I don't know. I mean, what length it would be. It wasn't small, but yes, I mean it was a catering truck. There's the word, a catering truck, and he pushed that thing to its limit, and it was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome.
And at the end, they got it there.
And then they got it there. Yeah. They made it out and got it there. And yeah, I'm trying to think of some more. There's the lake bed story, but you need to ask Nick Samaruthi for that story. I'm not giving that story.
Okay. We'll have to put him on our interview list.
Ask him sometime. He'll tell you all about it.
So I'm curious, do your daughters want to compete in the rally someday?
They're not, I don't think they're quite old enough to like fully appreciate what it is or understand it well enough to show interest in it. My older daughter she's a horse girl at heart, like deep in her soul. And I've seen a lot of kids her age kind of go through that phase. Hers is not a phase. Like she is deep in it. Like she will own a ranch in Montana someday. I guaranteed. So she likes being off-road and stuff, as far as being able to adventure to get to somewhere to get out and hike. So that's kind of more of her idea of a good time. The little one is treacherous. She is the one that will be like, 10 days of no cell phone and no GPS, and I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I'm charging it anyway. Sign me up. I mean, and Ella might too eventually, but no, they're not old enough to like fully understand it. I think enough to even show interest in it yet. But that little one is full throttle 24/7. Yeah. This is funny because she won't go anywhere near a horse. That's terrifying to her. But she'll crash her quad into a wall and go OTB handlebars and think it's the funniest thing in the world and laugh hysterically. And meanwhile, I got the older one who's like handles these 2,000-pound animals like it's nobody's business and walks them around, climbs on their backs bareback off the rail and takes off trotting. I'm like, but you don't like when dad goes too fast in the truck. I don't, to each their own. They're very different.
Very different of I don't want to say like adrenaline thrill, but yeah, different kind of mental thrill for each of them.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think same level of like confidence and no fear in different arenas.
Yeah,
I would say, yeah, for sure. I don't know where they get that from.
Well, ladies, on that note, we have hit our 1 hour mark, so I think it's time to sign off. And
thank you so much.
Yeah, we really appreciate you coming on and telling us some stories and just letting us get to know you a little more. It's been great.